So if you look at Aussie dollar, why do I choose to not touch Aussie dollar? Unless it's buy, it's mainly also because the overall market condition is consolidating. So if you can do a quick comparison between Aussie dollar to pound dollar. If you look at pound dollar on the 4 hour, if you look at euro dollar on the 4 hour, euro dollar is the strongest among three of the dollar pairs, comparing to pound dollar and Aussie dollar. And if you just do a short comparison between Aussie yen, for example, Aussie yen, you see Aussie yen we're still below that 95.37 resistance. Pound yen, we are holding quite strong. While euro yen, it is the strongest. So back to Manny, when you see, euro yen being the strongest at the same time, euro dollar just keep pushing higher, try not to short it. Make sense, Manny? This is a very, very easy filter. You pretty much can avoid the loss by simply assessing um, different pairs. So go back to Aussie dollar. I'm still looking to buy Aussie dollar, but the main reason why I've not taken any long again, many of us actually bought it at the low, here at 63.80, some at 63.78 at the absolute low, and have captured 4-5R. I actually saw some of our traders here DM me say that they captured the AU long because they were being less picky with their entry. So I was looking to buy deeper around 0.6370, 0.6363. So it was unfortunate that I wasn't able to capture this wave up. But if it were to ask me Aussie dollar, I would still say this is bullish. If I were to take any entry, I would still suggest you to buy because the ever since the reversal here from 59.5944, we broke above this 63.62, and this pretty much have already tell you we are bullish many here. So again, I'm more keen to buy Aussie dollar, but I'm keen to short pound dollar in the short term. So if you look at pound dollar here on a daily, we are extremely, extremely bullish. But what makes me bearish on pound dollar in the short term, this is more of a counter trend setup. It was because first thing we had this rejection at 137.60, and at the same time, we failed around this very minor TPF level at 137.50. So we dropped and we have a short-term breakout structure at 136.81. So if I were to choose one of the cross dollar pairs to short, I will still choose pound dollar because pound dollar to me is looking so far the cleanest to short as compared to Aussie dollar and euro dollar. Euro dollar, I would definitely not short into this. It's the strongest among three of the pair. In terms of currency, I can see euro is the strongest among all as well in the short term. So let's talk about the news. So this week we there's not much major news actually. In terms of dollar, we only have one unemployment claims. Then for Aussie, yes, we have some big news here. Big news here. Cash rate news on Tuesday. Besides that, not much, not much. I don't trade Kiwi. Some of you do, especially if you are a Shenrong gang, then you pretty much trade Kiwi dollar, Kiwi Swiss, Kiwi yen, or whatever. So I don't trade New Zealand dollar, so I don't care. So go back to DXY. So DXY, we are extremely, extremely bearish. As I told you before, if this is bearish, there's no point looking at this and go down onto the 1 hour and say, oh, I predict this will pull back. Most of the time, they wouldn't do any benefit to your analysis. You're just overcomplicating your setup. So DXY is bearish. So we know in the long term, we should be buying all the cross dollar pairs like GU, AU, EU. In the long term, you should buy them dollar yen, dollar cat, dollar Swiss in the long term, you should sell them. So once I know that DXY is bearish, I don't care about it anymore. All I do is I go on to all of these major pairs and I just look for entry. That's it. I just look for pattern. I just want to execute my pattern. So if I were to look at pound dollar right now, okay, just give you an example. After knowing that DXY is bearish over the long term, the big thing that I know is I need to buy pound dollar, at the major support. But the main reason why I'm not really buying pound dollar, if I just remove everything, you can see pound dollar is looking pretty far, it's overstretched. I don't use the term overstretched too often because there is no clear definition of what is an overstretched market unless you define it or anything that's above five wave that's overstretched. But that is still very subjective because sometimes the wave can go wider, the range can be wider, sometimes it can be smaller. So how do you exactly define a five wave if is overstretched? That's why you don't see me use the terms overstretched too often. Sometimes I just say, oh, the market seems a bit stretchy. This is still a fairly subjective terms. So back to pound dollar, I'm still looking to buy this in the long term, but not now. Not now. And I believe that we're going to see some pullback very soon. I don't know when, but I believe very soon, especially right now, me seeing pound dollar failing to go above that 137.50. So every once in a while, when we want to buy something, but it goes so stretchy, the only thing we can do is we try to see do we have any short-term BOS that allows us to trade min reversion at the same time waiting for the deeper retracement. Because if we were to just wait for pound dollar, let's say my mid to long term perfect entry is at 131.64. It is impossible for you to sit on hands and wait for price to pull back for 4 to 500 pips as a short-term trader. Or if you're a day trader, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So what we do is I know I still look to buy this in the long term, but short term, if I see any bearish signal, I don't mind giving it one or two attempts. Like pound dollar right now, the way I see this is we have a short-term break of structure and we are forming a short-term bear flag. But I'm not too confident to short into this yet because we are still holding above the prior support, which is at 136.07. If we do see a break below, that will offer some short-term sell opportunity. If you want to go more aggressive, shorting into pound dollar, possible. You wait for a retracement into 136.79. So I will personally monitor pound dollar and see do we respect this TPF entry at 136.67. If it pulls back, I don't mind giving it one shot, trying to short this in the short term because I'm expecting pound dollar to at least pull back into 134.10 area. So this is my short-term analysis on pound dollar, and it's also something that I'm watching as well. So I'm looking to short pound dollar in the short term. To be specific, my entry, I'm looking to get in around 136.67. Some of you might say, hey, the price position is not good. We only have about 50 pips from my entry to the following support. But again, this is a min reversion setup. So every min reversion setup, especially when we're still fairly early, it will always be, it will always look a bit aggressive. But as long as you know what you're doing, that's fine. So if I short it here, I get stopped out, I wouldn't get in anymore. So pound dollar, you can see is on one of my watch list. So Aussie dollar, as opposed to pound dollar, I won't be looking to short this, even if I expect deep retracement. The main reason being I don't like the consolidation here. I really don't like this area of consolidation. To me, Aussie dollar seems a bit uncertain. If I were to trade, my big concern would still be, will price even respect our pattern? Pattern will never work when the market is ranging too much. So it goes back to one of our lesson as well. When the market is ranging, trade the range. When the market is consolidating, if it's choppy, we just don't trade. So Aussie dollar seems to me that we're still fairly choppy. I know some of you will look at this and say, isn't this a BNR, Neo? It is. But I believe we are going to pull back again based on how stretchy is DXY. But again, we're not here trying to predict pullback on DXY. I just don't like the price action on Aussie dollar in the short term. So go into pound yen. So pound yen, we have various perspective here. I took some short, but unfortunately I got trailed out very early. And then on Thursday, we had a revisit back into this 197.80 zone. If you look at the 2 hour, let's look at the 1 hour. So if you look at the 1 hour, we have strong sell here on Wednesday, really aggressive. If I wasn't wrong, there was no major news as well. If y'all still remember, I remember this candle didn't have a news. It was a random push to the downside. Then we started retracing. So when price retrace again, I did not take any entry. Price pulled back here and then ultimately went a lot higher, pulled all the way back into 197.80, revisiting this resistance. So I'm still looking to short pound yen. Main reason being price still somehow rejected this area. So when price was at this area, I did take some short, but really small size. Sorry to say, humbly speaking, I only short about 30 lots. So it was a very small size to me, tester kind of position sizing. Shorted 30 lots here, and I got trailed out. Then market went a lot lower, eventually hit my TP. So when I was shorting here, just to share with you all the thought process, I was expecting price to reject this major resistance, and also at the same time on the lower time frame, I was looking at this piece of rollover price action here. Then when I drop down onto the 50-minute, I do see we have a very short term break of structure. Let me clear this. So you all can see we have some very tight consolidation here, broke below the area, offering me a possible entry. It was rather aggressive, but anyway, aggressive or not aggressive, if I get stopped out, it's still over, it's still done. There's no more entry. So shorted here, it dropped. When price pulled back, my trail stop was right there at 197.95. Unfortunately, I got trailed out. My trail stops would have been a lot better as well. I should have trail stops above this minor high. But I chose the trail stops there. If you ask me what's the reason, because I believe when price was when it broke below this area at 197.80, I was very confident that it's going to run. And especially after seeing this short-term bear flag pattern. So long story short, I got trailed out before price eventually hit my TP at 196.38. Then price again on Thursday go all the way back above the area. I also was looking for another re-entry because I got trailed out there. And this area to me is a short-term resistance. If you look at the 1 hour, if I just widen it, you can see this is where we had the short-term BOS, and you can also call it a TPF here at 198. So I was looking for price to possibly reject this area and give me a retest to the downside. But unfortunately, there's no retest, so it didn't validate our TPF entry, missed out the sell. But I can still see that market is still fairly slow. Because that this area has been tested once, twice, I will begin adjusting our entry lower as per our trading plan, as per our playbook. Our entry right now will be shifting to 197.50. So I'm still looking to short pound yen into 197.50. I know the candle was pretty strong, but I'm fine. I'm fine giving one attempt because I have some profit here. So if I were to trade pound yen, I will still short it around 197.50, and my stops will be above these swing lows high. You can also decide to put your stop loss above the high, but that's 61 pips. It's too much for my personal stop loss management. So I'll just put my stops just above this 197.84.6, right above this minor swing high. That will be more than enough because my overall thesis is I don't think pound yen will pull back into 198 anymore. So I'm looking to short this. First TP will be at 196.38. But all of you know, I love trading with open target. Sometimes if y'all see me post a position with a TP that big, it doesn't mean my target is that. Most of the time, I don't actually have a TP. So it's called open target. I love to monitor my position accordingly and don't actually put a TP there. So to explain the logic behind why I don't use ATP is because to me, a physical TP order, that means you open a position, you have a stop loss, you have a TP, right? It doesn't serve any benefit to my trading system. Unless it's a range trade or unless I'm busy, I don't have time to monitor my position, then I might have a conservative TP. But most of the time, I don't have a target because I much prefer closing my position according to what I see. Instead of I believe price will go there, reject, then I just put a level there. So I'll just leave it open. TP target is also a form of comfort. If you look at it from a pure psychological standpoint, it is just a comfort thing. Sometimes we put a TP there because we feel comfortable. But in actual, it really doesn't serve any benefit having a TP. Okay. You can pretty much just set an alert there because there are times where, again, pros and cons, there are times where price might tap the level and it just bounce. And that forces you to close to give back some profit closing the position urgently. But there are also times where price will just flush all the way below your TP. And most of the time, based on your own review, go check it, go study your trades, you will realize that majority of your wins actually run a lot more than you ever imagined. Again, that's based on my personal review as well. So I don't actually have a TP on this GJ, just watching it and see. My biggest concern is still this 196.10. Frankly, if price can't break this level, I won't hesitate to close the position. If it can, then I'll see how it goes. This will actually be my main setup of the week. So besides that, there is nothing much. Like I said, Euro dollar, Aussie dollar, this is going to be a deep retracement. So I know I don't need to look at it in the short term. Dollar Canadian is looking bearish, but doesn't fit my strategy. Dollar Swiss, no. Euro Aussie, I would strongly suggest all of you, if you want to trade Euro Aussie or Pound Aussie, just go long, right? If you're looking to short into these two pairs, don't even think about it. Way too aggressive. If you look at Euro Aussie, ever since the TPF here at 174.85, we are just bullish. Another BOS, another strong bull fight. So all these pairs are just bullish. GA, we're ranging, not too interested. So I'm just interested in GJ. For Aussie possible, but based on the consolidation on Aussie dollar, I also don't really like to touch Aussie yen. So Aussie dollar, sorry, pound yen will be my top pair of the week. Some of you also may ask, you have taken multiple short attempts on pound yen. Why do you still short it? I still made money. That's the reason why I still short it. As long as I'm still net positive on these pair, I don't mind giving it more chances. Because if the price position is so good, as long as I structure my entry properly, I don't rush into minor entry, I don't FOMO, and I don't oversized, in the long term, it's still going to be a winning game. Okay. So any question or any pair you all would like me to see? UJ, let me see. Mm, I don't like the consolidation. I don't like it. The only possible entry to me, there were two entries that I'm interested to short UJ. One is at 146.05, one is at 148.67. So these are the two entries I would like to short. Besides that, no, I don't want to get into all these mid-range, any. Gold. Sorry, pound dollar. Pound dollar, I talked about it. In the short term, I'm bearish because of the short-term break of structure, and we are looking pretty stretchy. Okay, we're looking pretty stretched. And we have a short-term BOS here. Plus, seems like pound dollar is also forming a bear flag. The only thing is we are holding above this 136.12 support. So there's two possible entry. One is aggressively short into the flag high, at one, let's be more precise, at 136.67, because you can see there's a flag, there's a hit, and there's also shoulders here. So TPF, or you can wait for a break below 136.10 to go short. Marcel, yeah, that's pretty much it for pound dollar. If you wanna see more analysis on pound dollar, you can go back to you can watch the replay in a bit. Okay. Let me see. Gold. Okay, let's move on to gold. I'm fairly neutral on gold, actually. But you all know I've been talking about gold bearish, not really gold bearish, actually, just gold range. And that's why I've been shorting gold, also net positive. Also net positive. If I were to trade gold, I would still lean towards the sell. Just my personal opinion. I'm not selling because I think in the short term I'm predicting some big crash or what, but because in the short term we are seeing lots of failure. First one, we have price failing to break above this 34.23 if you look at the 4 hour. We have price failing to hold above this resistance. We have price failing to hold above this minor TPF zone at 33.93. We have also price failing to go above this 3360. So these are again multiple possible, exhaustion confirmation. So I'm bearish on gold in the short term, and I'm expecting this to drop. I can't predict if this will, have a major reversal or not, but so far it's been correct. I've been anticipating gold to drop. You see, we didn't break above. You see, when gold go in push into 34.20, we still came back. When it was consolidating here, we said I believe it's going to drop. It also dropped. Then another drop here. That's when we captured the 5 hour trade, right? So majority of us shorted at 3344, and that was also a good trade. So right now, if price is still rejecting the high, it's also offering us a short entry, personal opinion. And I'm watching this consolidation on gold as a potential short as well. Also, another possible TPF. But price is right at my ideal POI level, which is 3336. So I'm thinking. Even for me, sometimes I need time to digest whether if I want to take the trade or not. And especially right now, market is closed and price is right at my entry. I won't be taking any position until 2 hours after the market open. So the first 1 hour is where you see the spreads go crazy, pound yen 30 pip spread, pound Aussie, euro Aussie might even be 50 pip spread. So these are times where I won't trade. So I used to be frank with you all, I used to be the person who wake up at 5 a.m. just to watch market open. But over the long term, I realize it's just a complete waste of time. You can pretty much just go to the chart 2 hours after market open, then you only look for potential entry. But just make sure you do all your game plan like what we're doing right now. So do your game plan on the weekend so that when market open, you know what you're looking for. You won't, panic, start taking random trade. I'm still thinking if I want to trade gold, honestly. I'm leaning more towards GJ. To be frank, if price goes back to 197.50, it would be at least 50 lot short minimum. I miss posting my P&L actually. It's been a while since I post my P&L because of the previous negative events, people trying to manipulate things. That's why I've been, hiding my P&L privately. Let's see. Uh, mm, JX, yeah, talk about gold here. So Jeff said, if we are net negative on GJ trades, should we still give it a try? This is a tricky question. Up to you. If this is still a setup that fits your own criteria, take it. Why not? If this is something outside of your game plan, but you hear me, maybe you want to go long, but you hear me saying I'm bearish, then you feel like you want to short, then don't do it. The other day, just to share with you all, the other day, actually this week, we have one member, he wanted to take a position on, I forgot which pair was it. He wanted to take a trade and he asked me for my opinion. I say, this is not something that I would take. And he don't take the trade. And it turns out the trade was correct. And then he said, I should have taken the trade. Please don't have this kind of mentality. Like if it fits your analysis, just take it. I could be wrong as well. I'm not Jesus, you know. There are times where I can be wrong. So stick to your analysis, okay? Took it early, yeah. So Jeff, back to Jeff Yo. I'm looking to short GJ, just to share with you. Yeah. Euro pound. I just don't know why you all like to trade, you know, pairs like Euro pound. So minor. Too bullish. It's looking too bullish. Even if I were to buy, I will have to wait for a deeper retracement. I can't see anything here for Euro pound. No, nothing fits our pattern. So I'll skip it. Who is it? 1号. If I can't see anything, I'll just be frank. I can't see anything. I don't want to force any analysis. And okay, dollar cat. Let me see dollar cat. Eh? Okay. Entry at 136. Stop loss at 136.3. No, I don't. We don't do that. Okay, unless this fits your strategy. Otherwise, why do you short it here? Right near the previous low. It's not anything that fits our pattern, our strategy. If you trade, yeah, if you trade channel, then you can do that. But that's not something that I do. Okay. I don't trade this way. If I were to short again, all of you know my trading style. I care a lot about price position. I make the most money sticking to key level entry. I'm never someone who's keen to participate in, you know, all these bad so-called poor price position, you know, bad levels. I don't like to get into this level. For I can just say for all of my six figures trade, anything above 100K, 200K, 500K, 300K, none of them are all these entries. They're all just me entering at key level. Then I start scaling into my trade. So I will still say I can't see anything on dollar cat. If you say 136.46, I will still think somehow it makes sense because it's right around all these major swing highs. If I say here 136, why? I don't I don't I don't understand why. Yeah. But you can have your own reasoning as well. So would the current 3336.4 refers to gold be a minor BNR? You mean this one, right? Do you mean this one? I think so, right? Who was it? Nigel. Yeah, yeah, you can take it that way. Yeah, I can call it a BNR and price is coming back below the zone. Yeah, makes sense. So Jason asked, kind of, would it be a A plus setup if price broke below 196 support zone, then short it right now since price, let's go back. Yeah, that's what we've been talking as well. And that's why I say this is an aggressive entry, Jason. This is an aggressive entry. A conservative TP, a conservative entry will be a break below 196. Yeah. This is the area that I'm concerned the most as well. If I were to short it there, my first alert will definitely be set at 196. So same, basically the same view. Just you have a conservative entry, I have an aggressive entry. So why can't ask, Neil, do you think DSY will have short-term pullback to the upside? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But like I mentioned in the early of the session, I tend not to predict pullback or any retracement on the index because I don't trade them. I just use them to identify what's the mid to long term direction on dollar and the yens. Once I know, then I know the long term, I should be buying pound dollar, I should be buying Aussie dollar, I should be buying euro dollar. But it doesn't stop me from shorting them in the short term. All right. So yes, I believe the XY will pull back, but I don't know where and also when. I don't know. So you don't need to look at it. Just focus on your setup. Why can't you won't be able to extract much information by looking at the XY. You can only look at all these pairs that you trade and study them and see if there's any possible short-term entry. What pattern are you trading on pound yen? TPF. Can you see that? Elias, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And also, it was also after seeing price pull all the way back into also another TPF. Elias, can you see that? So this is also another TPF. If I were to block it here, then you can see we have another big TPF here. So if price close below, yes. And also on the high time frame, pound yen has rejected the major resistance. So just again, just personal opinion. I'm still bullish on JPYX. I know in the short term we are going down, but I've been repeating that 746, 746, 746. 746 is a major support on the JPYX because previously there were multiple times where the JPYX came back into this zone and it just reversed, reversed. So right now, JPY is sitting at this level. It somehow give me, you know, more confidence to look for shorts on all these cross yens. Again, please understand one thing. I've mentioned this. This is a aggressive entry because the safer entry on pound yen would definitely be waiting for a break below that 196.20 before we go short, right? So this is an aggressive entry. You don't need to take it. Just because I take it, you don't need to take it. Yeah. So yeah. What are your thoughts on long GU at 134.20? Yeah, I just talked about it as well, Jason. So I believe GU is most likely to pull back into 134.61. You see the arrow? I also mentioned the same thing. In the long term, that is a good level to buy. Yeah, get it, Jason? I just talked about it actually. Okay, any more question? Let's see if I'm correct on the pound yen and also on gold. Mm, I really missed the big P&L though. For the past 2, 3 months, I've not been able to catch really big setups. Anything above 200K, not really. In January, February, wow, so many, 200K. I was numb by the number as well. Just when I think it was okay, I go to a period of hold, as in, small profit here and there. Small loss, small profit, PE coming soon 200K. I also want to be numb. Yeah. Let's see. If I have a 200K position, I'll post it on YouTube. I'll show my MT4 again. Ever since that incident, right, I've been trying to protect my privacy a lot more because of a lot of stupid people, honestly. Yeah, I tell you, the world is weird. Numbers too round, MT4 time, fixed statement. Like you literally lock into your IC market, and some people will still say, "Oh, IC market is not regulated." And then I tell you, they will start saying funny thing, and then when they say, "Oh, is it edited on the dashboard?" When you refresh, they say, "Is it edited?" Then you show them on your phone of you showing them the live account. I can't edit, on my phone, right? While in front of the screen, then they still say is it fake. That's why some people cry in Seiko in Apple Watch, really. Sometimes when I get really mad, I'll always laugh with my wife and say, that's why they hate in an Apple Watch or no watch. Sometimes being hate is also a blessing. That means people actually think, oh, your level is unachievable, is unattainable. Is it fake? Yeah, they think it's fake because they have not seen it. I tell you, I've seen people who really make $1 million a month like nothing. Like you think I'm big, like I don't even dare to say I'm good. There are people who are levels above me. Yeah, yeah. And just like when you wear a Rolex, there's someone wear a PP. When you wear a PP, there's someone wearing a PP Grand Complication. Then there's someone who wearing an iStyle Factory PP and then RM, above and above. There's always, in Chinese, we say there's always a mountain higher than 一山比一山高 in Chinese. Don't know how to translate it. There's always higher mountain. 人外有天，天外，yeah, 人外有人天, yeah. Anyway, just be yourself. If I have a 200K trade, I'll post it on YouTube. I'll show my MT4 again. Yeah, if I have a 200K trade. So far, I've not. For the past 3 months, 3 to 4 months actually. The biggest I had was the recent gold and dollar cat short. It was 120 over 1,000 uh total, not one position, total P&L. Mm. Anyway, I'll be flying to Australia as well. I'll be flying to Australia for almost a month. Um, I think in the next week or next 2 week. Haven't bought the flight, haven't booked the hotel. Went Thailand. Thailand is the easiest place to go. Which city again? Probably Sydney for a month. I live in Thailand. Yeah, I know. We have a lot of people meeting in Thailand as well. 1 month Sydney, big spender. Yeah, I don't know. I just swiped my card. I just swiped my Amex. I really don't know how much I spent on traveling. Let me stop the recording.